People who used to be suicidal, what saved you? I've posted this before, but it deserves some love. I had a plan to kill myself. I was at uni and it was the first few days. I was feeling homesick and generally shit that I hadn't made any friends yet. I had resigned myself to forever living alone or not living at all. I said what I needed to say to everyone and was just about to make my way to the kitchen to get the knife in order to cut open my femoral artery when I heard a knock on the door. It was my future husband, although I didn't know it at the time, looking scared and alone like a lost puppy. He said he needed to go to the doctors but wanted someone to come with him so he didn't get lost. I decided that my death could wait until after I'd eaten an entire tub of ice cream. Turns out we had just missed the bus, so we decided to walk. The walk itself was quiet and we did in fact get lost, but there was a silent bond built between us that day. I felt for the first time since I'd arrived at uni as though I had someone I could be friends with. It's been a long road to recovery, but I now have my own house with my husband and a naughty little dog who I love. I am not quite there yet, but I know with him by my side I will grow and fight, and I have the strength to do so. So I guess it was blind luck, an incredibly supportive partner and a dog. Lost my dad in May 2018 to a brain aneurysm out of nowhere. He was a bad alcoholic and his liver was no longer functioning and the bleeding didn't stop. From the day everything happened to February 2020, I have very, very little recollection of anything. Of life in general. I feel like I checked out, and my body was on autopilot just to get through whatever day it was. I know that my sorrow and anger was getting worse every day and I dreaded waking up in the mornings. I'd be upset that I didn't die in my sleep, honestly. I pass a big bridge outside of my small town every day and I figured I'd just drive off of it one of those days with my son with me and we'd be okay. I'd stare at walls for hours and not even realize it, and I'd take it out on everyone around me. It got so bad and so much worse, but I'm too lazy to type it all out. Anyway, my 7-year-old at this point would freaking make me sandwiches and take them along with chips and a soda in bed at this point. My poor kid, man. One day, he straight up asked me, after he made me a Hot Pocket, "Mom, do you hate your life?" As someone who hates lying, I lied to my kid and said, "No, of course not." I saw this as such a bad thing and kind of saw how I was being, so I sent a message on Facebook to my old pastor. He replied right away and we decided to meet the following Tuesday. Met him and another pastor at church. I spoke to them after 21 months of anger and sorrow. It was so bad, I could feel these things in my heart and my soul and my bones. It was horrible. My pastor started to pray for me. Dudes, I swear, I could feel something right then and there. I felt a little better when he started praying and I thought to myself, man, it's now or never. God is real. He's here, I can feel him. If he's real, then I know he's here to help. What do I have to lose? And if I'm wrong, nothing will change and I'll see a therapist or something. So I let my guard down. I could literally feel the sorrow and anger and questions and hate just leave my body. That was February 11th, 2020, and I haven't felt the same since. Not one bad day since then. This is legit a quick summary of what I went through in those months. After feeling asleep for those months, I guess I woke up to it all and saw how much damage I did on my family, my friends, work, my credit, my body, everything. I feel much better and am still doing damage control, what I call that other me did. Now that normal me is back, I'm slowly fixing it all. Don't even know if that makes sense, but that's first-hand experience. I ordered things all the time. I always had packages scheduled to arrive. Can't die unless you've tried all the clothes right. Can't let the postman ring your doorbell and not have anyone answer. Always have something to look forward to, make plans you can't cancel, schedule things you don't want to miss. 10 months ago I had my entire suicide planned out. Everything from the location, to the date, to the time. A few days before the big day, my current boyfriend asked me out on our first date out of nowhere, and it has been a fairy tale ever since. I will never tell him this, but I will forever be grateful that he unknowingly saved my life by being so incredibly kind, compassionate and loving. I thought about ending my life almost every day for about 20 years. A few things over those years. One of the worst was randomly finding this suicide hotline that was done over email. Having some back and forth email conversations with the random people made me really think about how I was feeling as opposed to having to immediately respond to someone. Other times it was thinking about how it's affect those around me. Other times it was writing a suicide letter and reading it over, thinking, what if I was reading this from someone I knew and loved? Doing things when I'm not actively suicidal but know I'm heading for a depressive episode to make it as inconvenient as possible when I get there. Stuff like getting rid of old pills, not keeping any yarn, meds, sharp shit in my room, queuing embarrassing emails to send in 2 months if I don't get into my computer to delete them, etc. Basically making it more of a pain in the ass to kill myself than keep living, or that someone would notice if I was planning something because I'd have to do a lot of prepping in advance. Also therapy. My fear of dark. I wanted suicide at a lost place. But there was too dark, so I couldn't, so that. Realizing that your life is not only your own. And you have more impact on those close to you than others. I rationalized that to take my own life was selfish. That if I were to take it, I am taking away more than just my life but my life from others. My friends, my family, my co-workers. And I couldn't handle that I could hurt those around me even if I thought that taking my life was the only thing to help me. Lots of thought and self-reflection of who I am and what I want helped me. My girlfriend. No matter how down I was, she could always cheer me up. I started spending more and more time with her, and I kept getting happier and happier. Eventually I just kind of stopped having suicidal thoughts. One night I decided it was time. I wrote a note, but became really worried that what I wrote wouldn't be enough. I wanted to make sure my note let my family know they weren't at fault. I think there was one small part of me left that didn't want to go, and that's how this happened. I posted it on an anonymous forum asking for help writing it. The people on the forum talked me out of it and helped me realize that it wasn't the answer. I had decided the next day I would seek therapy. What I did not know was that the website's moderator saw my post. My email was given to the police and they found me. It was a long night with lots of emotions and drama. After that, I got help and was inpatient for almost a week. It saved my life, got me stable enough to begin functioning again, and helped me see that I had worth. Now, 5.5 years later, I'm still grateful. I've been seeing a psychologist for 9 months now, once a week, and I can fully say that it has helped so much. I used come every Thursday and cry, repeatedly say that I honest to God want to die, to vanish from this world, that suicide is always an option for me if things take a wrong turn. Now it's not like that anymore. She's helped me cope with the pain and emotions. When my dog died I couldn't even function, and still every week I come in, cry for a good amount of time and leave feeling a little bit better because she helps me see the good in things. A few things at different times. My 2 cats have saved me quite a few times, still my best friends, and I hope they will never go. My parents with phone calls a few times. The therapy I made helped too, and I got many useful tips and hints there that help me still today. And last but not least, my wife and my 11-month-old twins. They are the reason I can come out of my bed in the morning and don't procrastinate the whole day again. I love spending time with them so much. Sadly I need to work more lately, but I always am happy to get home and be welcomed with the greatest smiles ever. Meditation and yin yoga. It turned me towards selflessness and being of service to others, which keeps my treatment-resistant MDD at bay. It couples really nicely with therapy. It gave me a support system too that's more reliable than my dysfunctional family. You only need a little bit of hope to go a long way. I used to be suicidal BC of my looks and my social skills, and also friends and support from my family that I didn't have. I was not good at anything, I was disgusted by myself, nobody wanted to hang out with me, I thought my life was shitty BC. That's just how it is and there is nothing I could do about it. Then I remembered this phrase I heard on TV, and it took me 3 months to work myself up to it, but I started clearing my headspace and making small changes in my life. With that, almost all of my suicidal thoughts went away in less than a year. I know it sounds stupid and corny, but sometimes all you need is really just a little bit of hope. It can get you a long way. Smiley face. It was a long and hard process, but I am happy I went through it. My friends, sometimes incidentally, once intentionally. They have a knack for reaching out when I'm at my lowest and keeping me here. There was once where I was very much going to go through with it and I'm not sure how, but my best friend knew. He came to my house with some beers and stayed with me until I was passing out to sleep. He never said a word about it the entire time he was over. We hung out like nothing was wrong. He saved my life that day. When I realized the reason I wanted to die was because every person I've met also wanted to die, I wasn't trying to fit in, but it was depressing as hell to realize how many people were so happy being miserable and how often happy people got shunned for being happy like it's taboo. Centuries ago happy was the default and people questioned you for being sad, but now people question you for simply smiling. Suicide is also a big waste of time. Literally, you're mortal and still alive, so why cut your time short when you could have recovered and prospered?